Get ready to dive into the mysterious world of unsolved celebrity disappearances. From rock stars to sports stars and everyone in between, this video explores some of the most intriguing cases that have left us scratching our heads. Join me as we delve into the details, theories, and possible explanations behind these perplexing vanishings. So let's jump straight into it. Let's talk about Patrick McDermott, the man who made a name for himself not only through his work as a cinematographer, but also through his high-profile personal life. In the 2000s, he worked on several short films like Rendezvous and Felix the Christ, showcasing his talent behind the camera. However, it was McDermott's relationship with pop star and Grease star Olivia Newton-John that truly captured public attention. The two were romantically involved for 9 years, with their relationship experiencing its fair share of ups and downs. All right, buckle up for a wild story. Picture this. It's June 2005, and McDermott is on a chartered fishing boat bound for Mexico. But here's the twist. He doesn't make it back with the ship and presumed missing at sea. Fast forward to 2009, enter Philip Klein, a private investigator hired by the NBC investigative news show Dateline to crack this case wide open. Klein had a theory that McDermott faked his own death. Why? Well, apparently it was all about cold hard cash. According to Klein, McDermott's son stood to inherit a hefty life insurance policy if his father met an untimely demise. So in this twisted tale of deception, McDermott supposedly vanished into thin air so that his son could cash in. But here's the kicker. Nobody knows for sure what really happened. Did McDermott actually pull off the ultimate disappearing act? Or is he swimming with the fishes somewhere? It remains an unsolved mystery to this day. Jim Sullivan, an American singer, songwriter, and guitarist, had a promising career ahead of him before he mysteriously vanished in 1975. His story is one filled with intrigue and unanswered questions, leaving many wondering what exactly happened to him in New Mexico. With 2 albums under his belt, Jim Sullivan was on the cusp of success. However, he disappeared without a trace. Despite extensive searches and investigations, no concrete evidence or leads were ever found. So, here's what we know. On March 4, 1975, Sullivan embarked on a solo road trip from Los Angeles to Nashville in his trusty Volkswagen Beetle. However, his journey took an unexpected turn when he was stopped by a highway patrol officer who warned him about his driving. Undeterred, he decided to spend the night at the La Mesa Motel in Santa Rosa, New Mexico. Interestingly, there are conflicting reports about whether Sullivan actually slept at the motel. Some suggest that he left his key inside the room and ventured out into the night. Rumor has it that he even purchased some vodka from a local store in town. The plot thickens as eyewitnesses claim to have seen Sullivan the following day, approximately 26 miles away from Santa Rosa at a remote ranch owned by the Gennady family. However, this sighting would be the last anyone ever saw of him. To add to the mystery, Sullivan's abandoned car was discovered at the ranch later on. Despite extensive searches and investigations, he remains missing to this day. The circumstances surrounding his disappearance continue to baffle both investigators and curious minds alike. Let's dive into the story of Scott Smith, the talented musician and bassist for the rock band Loverboy. Known for their iconic hits like Working for the Weekend and Turn Me Loose, Loverboy rocked their way to success in the music industry. In 1982, the band's hard work paid off as they won an impressive 6 Juno Awards. Their catchy tunes resonated with fans, leading to record-breaking sales of over 23 million records. However, tragedy struck on November 30th, 2000. While sailing his boat off the coast of San Francisco with 2 friends, Smith encountered a powerful wave that swept him overboard. Despite extensive search efforts by the Coast Guard, he was declared missing and presumed lost at sea. Hale Boggs, who also became House Majority Leader during the Nixon years, was a prominent Democrat from New Orleans and a well-known figure in American politics during his time. His fame reached new heights when he served on the Warren Commission, which investigated the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Boggs became particularly noteworthy for his skepticism towards the lone gunman theory surrounding JFK's shooting. Not only did Boggs question the official narrative, but he also voiced his doubts about it publicly. All right, buckle up for a wild story. Let's dive into the mysterious disappearance of Hale Boggs in 1972. Now, this guy was no ordinary congressman. He made quite a name for himself by questioning the official lone gunman theory of JFK's assassination. Fast forward to October 16th of that year, and Boggs found himself in Alaska, lending a helping hand to a fellow congressman's re-election campaign. They hopped on a light aircraft bound for Juneau, but here's where things take a turn for the bizarre. They vanished into thin air. Naturally, this sent shockwaves across the nation. People couldn't help but wonder if Boggs' investigation into JFK's assassination had something to do with his disappearance. Some conspiracy theorists still believe he was targeted and silenced for his outspoken criticism of the lone gunman theory. So there you have it, an intriguing tale that leaves us with more questions than answers. The case of Hale Boggs remains shrouded in mystery to this day. All right, so let me introduce you to someone who might not be a household name outside of Sweden, Daniel Lind Lagerloof. If you've never heard of him, don't worry, you're not alone. He's a Swedish writer and director who made quite a name for himself in his home country, but perhaps didn't quite reach international fame. In Sweden, however, he was huge. Known for his unique storytelling style and creative vision, Lagerloof captured the hearts of many with his works. So while he may not have gained widespread recognition globally, his impact in Sweden is undeniable. Back in 2011, something mysterious happened in southern Sweden that left everyone baffled. Lars Lagerloof was on the hunt for the perfect location for his upcoming thriller project. He and several friends ventured into the secluded nature reserve known as Turpanen. Little did he know that this would be his last adventure. As they explored the wild and remote island, he mysteriously vanished without a trace. Despite extensive search efforts, no body has ever been found, leaving us to wonder what really happened. The official status remains that he is missing, presumed dead. His disappearance has sparked countless theories and speculation among locals and investigators alike. Was it foul play? Did he stumble upon something dangerous? Or did he simply get lost? Before rock and roll became the dominant force in music, big bands reigned supreme, and one of the most successful bands of that era was Glenn Miller's. With their jazzy tunes and infectious energy, Miller's band churned out hit after hit. In 1939 alone, they managed to score a staggering 17 top 10 hits, followed by an even more impressive 31 in 1940. Among these chart toppers were beloved classics like Fools Rush In and quite possibly their most iconic song, In the Mood. But everything was about to change. Miller's career took an unexpected turn when World War II broke out. Despite joining the Air Force as an officer, he remained dedicated to his passion for music. He continued to perform at war bond rallies and entertained his fellow military men, bringing a sense of joy and camaraderie during such challenging times. In 1944, at the age of 40, Miller embarked on a journey that would ultimately become his last. He and his band traveled to the UK, spreading their music across the Atlantic. On December 15th, Miller boarded a plane destined for Paris, where he was scheduled to perform. Tragically, fate had other plans. The small aircraft carrying Miller went up over the English Channel but mysteriously disappeared without a trace. Colorado Public Radio suggests that it's possible the plane crashed into the English Channel, but no definitive answers have ever been found. The disappearance of Glenn Miller remains an enduring mystery in history, leaving us with unanswered questions about what truly happened on that fateful day. Rico Harris, a former professional basketball player, had all the potential to become a star in the world of basketball. As a standout player in Southern California during his high school days, he showcased his skills and talent on the court. His success continued as he led Los Angeles City College, LACC, to their first state junior college title in 1997. Harris would go on to star with the Harlem Globetrotters, but his journey took an unfortunate turn. Despite his immense talent, his drinking problem prevented him from reaching his potential. and a player that was a shoe-in to the NBA now found himself working as a security guard in Los Angeles. On October 9th, 2014, Harris left his mother's house to head to Seattle to see his girlfriend. Harris had become notorious for his disappearing acts, but this time things took a mysterious turn. His car was found broken down and abandoned, and a backpack and a phone with a video of him were discovered on the roadside, leaving more questions than answers. The authorities decided to search the surrounding wilderness using a high-tech heat vision camera, hoping to locate him. To their surprise, nothing was found. In the midst of Harris's disappearance, reports started flooding in about sightings of an unusually tall individual walking alongside State Route 16. People were convinced it was him. Human footprints were even discovered in the sand nearby. But despite all these clues pointing towards his presence, Harris remained elusive. The LA Times speculates that he might have been picked up as a hitchhiker after vanishing. From there on out, it becomes anyone's guess as to what happened next in this perplexing case. He remains missing to this day. All right, buckle up for a mysterious tale about Richie Edwards, the talented guitarist and lyricist of the alternative rock band Manic Street Preachers. Back in February 1995, something bizarre happened. Richie's car was found abandoned near a bridge in England, but he was nowhere to be found. The circumstances surrounding his disappearance remain shrouded in mystery. It's widely believed that he may have taken a leap from that very bridge, but here's where things get even stranger. Despite extensive searches and investigations, no body was ever found. What adds an extra layer of intrigue to this already puzzling case are the alleged sightings of Edwards in far-off places over the years. Some speculate that he may have deliberately staged his disappearance, fueling rumors and conspiracy theories. Connie Converse, a talented singer-songwriter and musician, made a significant impact on the contemporary folk music scene in the 1950s. Known for her introspective songwriting and unique style, she captivated audiences with her heartfelt lyrics. However, despite her musical talent and promising career, Connie's story took an unexpected turn. In 1974, at the age of 50, she abruptly left her family and disappeared without a trace. It was a shocking decision that left those who knew her puzzled and concerned. In a note she left behind, Connie expressed feelings of failure and the desire to start fresh. Her disappearance remains a mystery to this day, as there have been no confirmed sightings or communication from her since then. Barbara Follett, an extraordinary child prodigy novelist, made waves in the literary world at a remarkably young age. At just 12 years old, she published her debut novel, The House Without Windows, captivating readers with her exceptional storytelling abilities. Not one to rest on her laurels, Barbara continued to impress with her second novel, The Voyage of the Norman D, which garnered widespread critical acclaim when she was only 14. Her talent seemed boundless, and her future as a writer appeared bright. However, tragedy struck when family troubles befell Barbara. Sadly, after the age of 16, she never wrote again, for reasons unknown. Years later, in December 1939, Barbara's life took a mysterious turn. Following an argument with her husband, she left their apartment and vanished without a trace. Surprisingly, her disappearance was not reported to the police by her husband for 2 whole weeks. His reasoning? He claimed he was waiting for her to return. Then 4 months later, he finally decided to request a missing persons bulletin. However, due to the bulletin being issued under Follett's married name of Rogers, it unfortunately went unnoticed by the media. This strange sequence of events raises even more questions about the circumstances surrounding Follett's disappearance. Bison Delay, a former American professional basketball player, had an impressive career in the NBA. He played center for several teams, including the Orlando Magic, Denver Nuggets, Los Angeles Clippers, Chicago Bulls, and Detroit Pistons. One of the highlights of his career was winning a championship with the Bulls in 1997. However, tragically, his life took a dark turn. In July 2002, he went missing along with his girlfriend and boat captain while sailing in the South Pacific. On July 6, 2002, a mysterious and tragic event unfolded as Bison, his girlfriend Serena Carlin, his brother Miles, and skipper Bertrand Saldo set sail from Tahiti. Little did they know that this voyage would be their last together. When Miles, Bison's brother, brought the boat back into Tahiti, he was alone aboard the vessel. The FBI and French authorities were quick to launch an investigation into the disappearances. Their findings pointed towards a grim conclusion. All three were likely murdered and then thrown overboard by Miles. Adding to the complexity of the case was the fact that Miles himself seemed to have intentionally overdosed on insulin, slipping into a coma. Tragically, on September 27, 2002, he passed away. This haunting incident raises many questions and leaves us with an unsettling sense of mystery surrounding what truly happened on that fateful day in July. The investigation may have come to a close with these disturbing conclusions, but the unanswered questions still linger. Let's dive into the fascinating career of Christina "Licorice" McKechnie. From 1968 to 1972, she made her mark as a singer and songwriter in the iconic folk band, the Incredible String Band. Known for her unique vocals and lyrical prowess, Licorice contributed to the band's success during this period. However, her whereabouts are unknown and she is missing. Here's what we know. In a mysterious turn of events, McKechnie, a native of Edinburgh, Scotland, returned to her hometown in 1986 to visit relatives. However, shortly after her arrival, her whereabouts took an unexpected turn into the unknown. But here's where it gets interesting. According to the Diversity of Classic Rock, her sister revealed that McKechnie was in California recovering from surgery in 1990. On the other hand, Mojo, via Scotia Nostra, reported a different account stating that McKechnie's last known sighting was when she was seen hitchhiking in the Arizona desert back in 1987. Despite efforts to locate her, she remains missing to this day. The circumstances surrounding her disappearance continue to intrigue and baffle those who are familiar with the case.